Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Corn Republic podcast. My name is Shura Bacharya. Metaverse is a complicated space, isn't it? On one hand, we have Microsoft, Meta, and Roblox, having record-breaking losses, but at the same time, people are interested about it. And there are some use cases in this industry, but we'll try to take a deep dive into the concepts of these metaverse-related use cases. For that, I have the perfect person. He's the founder and CEO of Pixel Canvas. In this episode, we will try and understand how Pixel Canvas is filling in the gaps in the metaverse industry and how it is helping you guys getting a more immersive experience. But at the same time, we will answer some specific metaverse industry related questions, as in if this industry is gonna boom in the upcoming future. So I want you to listen to the podcast in parts and take what you want to take out of it. Make sure you subscribe and share the video. Without a further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce you guys to the screen with the CEO and founder of Pixel Canvas, the one and only Joyee Lee. Welcome, Joyee.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So live from Los Angeles, you're at Los Angeles right now. Where are you at?
I am Los Angeles, 10 p.m. It's nighttime. I have one of our metaverse environments as my background, so that's what you're seeing behind me.
That is phenomenal, and so people can experience this, using your platform.
Yeah, this is actually one of our default environments that you can use to showcase your NFTs, your art on the walls that you see here. You can customize it to your own, the materials on the walls, the floors, the lighting, and you can add your own logos if you wanted to.
All right, fantastic. And in about a few minutes, we will showcase your platform to the screen. So make sure you have that pinned up over here, and we can share it in about a few minutes. Mm-hmm. So let's start with your experiences. You have been a 3D, you have your 3D artist experience, right? As a visual designer and also the founder of Pixel. You're currently the founder of Pixel Canvas. So how has been your journey thus far from being a designer to founding your own company?
Yeah, so a little bit about my history going way back. I started as a 3D designer working with events. I've had over 10 years in experiential marketing, working with companies like George P. Johnson, which is an experiential marketing company that, I would design and work on accounts such as Toyota, Honda, Amazon, designing booths, like events, physical, but I was doing it in a game engine already. So I was kind of disrupting that industry a little bit. I was using Unreal Engine 4 during the time, just modeling and rendering exhibit booths, like these Toyota exhibit booths at auto shows, and simulating it in VR. So that was kind of the natural transition from doing that into what is now our Metaverse platform.
So for physical and gaming environments, what lessons do you find from the physical art world, and how did you transition into it? How do the both of the worlds merge together, do you think?
So physical art, funny, I was just at Art Basel Miami a couple months ago, and sorry, did we lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm just sharing your screen so they can.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I was confused. Yeah. And this will be edited. So yeah, physical art. I was in Miami just a couple months ago for Art Basel, and you just saw so much enthusiasm for how do you bring your physical art into the metaverse as NFTs, and just how do we mint it on the blockchain, and how do we use the metaverse to sell their art, right? So the traditional art world is definitely thinking about how do you gain a wider audience, because one of the problems I saw there was like all these people that came to this 3-day event in Miami in these big events and tents full of traditional art, paintings or whatever, physical items. They have to pay $5,000 just for this 3-day event to show, and in the hopes of selling a piece of their art for 5,000 to 45,000. It ranged, right? Those things were, you sell one, and it was worth the 5,000 investment to bring all of your art for those 3 days. However, a lot of them are like, okay, why did you put your art in the metaverse where people can explore and see your art, and if they like it, they can buy it from anywhere in the world, 365 days of the year, right? So there is that transition happening for sure.
We did cover Art Basel this year. One of our correspondents. It is quite chaotic, and we've seen the transit. Art Basel has been around for a while now, pre digital art, correct? So a lot of people now shifting towards NFTs, and NFT NYC is a big event. NFT Paris just recently happened. What are the other, like? Are you visiting these events? Where can we see you guys in the future in these events?
For sure. I think a lot of the events that we try to have a presence at is definitely the NFT, the Web3 events. So just to give you an idea of my traveling last year, NFT LA, NFT New York, Singapore was the blockchain week. Art Basel obviously big into. So any like sort of Web3 event, you'll pretty much find Pixel Canvas there, either at a booth showcasing our metaverse, or just me being there, just meeting folks and talking about the business and talking about our offerings.
Right. So do you think what's the consensus like? Do you think people are interested on the use cases but not actually using the platforms like voxels and spatial, or and how are you filling in the gaps in terms of, do you think by 2025 we will see a spike in the metaverse industry, and are you filling in the gaps? Are you identifying and filling in the gaps yourself?
Yeah, so I think with our platform, and you'll see in a bit when I show some of the examples, is we are using Unreal Engine 5 and pixel streaming to really, essentially, what I like to call it is PlayStation 5, current modern generation graphics and quality. I think a lot of the metaverse platforms that's web-based, WebGL based,
Yes.
they are not exactly, giving metaverses a great reputation. And just to point out a few, like I think Sandbox, the voxel that you talked about, it's nice. I guess some people can go for those art style, but it's not really tapping into what current gaming engines can be capable of, right? The Central Land with WebGL, that, I'm sorry, it looks like a game from several years ago, maybe 2 decades ago, versus some of the stuff that we're doing, which is Unreal Engine 5, millions and millions of polygons. We do cloud rendering, so that means all the AWS is doing all the heavy lifting with their GPUs, and that gets streamed to your end users, where it doesn't matter what kind of machine devices you're running on. You could achieve essentially Unreal 5 quality on your phones.
So immersiveness is the gap that you're filling in. I mean, with voxels and all, people are focusing on parcels and all sorts of things. But I'm not going to comment on this, but I do see the immersiveness being as an issue. So digital fashion has been a hot topic among the metaverse and crypto enthusiasts. Now, you yourself have, you visit all these events, but particularly I'm talking about Digital Fashion Week in London, right? So what do you think that these the metaverse, the use case of metaverse, bridging the gaps between these luxury brands and retail investors? Do you think that being a potential use case in the future?
For sure. I think fashion and music is the top two from our research. And you look at some of the brands already, like Nike is leading the charge with, I don't even know what the number is anymore, but they were at 1.8 billion in secondary trades and NFTs, right? So when it comes to fashion, I've had a lot of, people reach out for fashion, designers to want to showcase their, their clothing inside of a metaverse. And when I receive these files, these 3D files are so heavy because of the material, the wrinkles and everything. You need polygons to make it look
Right.
like the original designs. And that's what we offer them. And I think Digital Fashion Week New York, a lot of the designers really liked the event that we put together and showcased the runway with some of the files that they gave us. But also that same Metaverse project file was given to Epic Games in London. They had a physical IRL show with an LED wall that they used our Metaverse as a backdrop. Didn't change a thing. It was the same file, gave it to Epic Games. They showed it on a huge LED volume screen, kind of like how they filmed The Mandalorian, where they use an Unreal 5 background. And so there was a lot of, Instagram stories being shared that weekend of just models taking pictures in front. They use it as a catwalk. They had real models walking in front of it. So through the camera, it looks like a digital catwalk.
Right. Fantastic. All right. So Joyee, from where did you get the inspiration to create Pixel Canvas? I mean, was it from your, the position of game director at Epic Mega Grand? You created a VR horror game, Reiko's Fragments or something else, right? Something else? What was the exact experience?
Yeah, so I think that was probably my passion project. It was when I had a full-time job, had a group of friends here in LA that we're all just gamers, and we decided, hey, we know how to I know how to model photorealistic things, so I built a horror house just for fun. It was spooky. VR was kind of new during the time. I had a HTC Vive that I just put the controls in and did a funny little video where I had one jump scare, filmed a bunch of my friends try it, and I spliced it together as like a teaser. And when I showed that around, it started to draw a lot of people to be like, hey, we should make a game. We should try to do something with this. And during that time, I was like, whatever. What do we got to lose? Let's just try it. Let's call this company Pixel Canvas. Reiko's Fragments was the game. We developed one day per week on a weekend. Every Sundays, we called it Dev Days, Sundays. And over the course of an entire year, we came out with a early access VR game on Steam that did quite well in 2019 October for Halloween. And that's the origin story of Pixel Canvas.
So you create a browser-based 3D interactive platform. You help major brands address the new reality of digital interactivity. So how do you think small brands could avail of your platform?
Yeah, so I think this would be a great time for me to share my screen and talk you guys through some footage of what you're seeing here. Are you able to see this? Making sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let me go full screen on this video and just give you an idea of some of the different industries we've done and different brands that we've worked on. So the first footage that you're seeing here is music and entertainment. This is DJ Paul Oakenfold. We volumetric scanned him in, and we're making it gamified, live multiplayer, avatars. We use Ready Player Me. You can run around with your friends, watch and play, his live performance. And it's an interactive experience. Second example here, ASU and Thunderbird did a collaboration with a Space Force launch event. This is our convention center space in outer space. This is the metaverse. There's no limitations. There's the dean here. You have booths of different departments. We have built-in video chat. You can check out John here with video chat and their avatars. And then another one, Westfield Mall, being able to shop, transact, e-commerce, very popular request in the metaverse. How do you, buy things? So virtual stores. And then here's some of the footage for Digital Fashion Week. This is some of the latest stuff. This is about a week or two ago of just footage of me running around, checking out the visitors, 17 different designers, 6 different sponsors with their own booths here to check out their content. Yeah, so those are some of the examples, and we want to be able to offer this to medium and small businesses. Yes, we have done a lot of work with large companies and brands,
Mhm.
but we are a platform now with all these templates and offerings that is quite affordable for smaller businesses to be able to use one of our template environments and reskin it to their own.
Mhm. Could you specify a little bit about your USP a little bit more? Because although it looks fantastic, but there are so many players in the game, spatial, voxels, and all sorts of other players. You do use Unreal Engine 5 and cloud rendering technologies to create metaverse sites in minutes, right? So
Yeah.
you're saying anybody can do it? Or do businesses need developers to do this? What is the USP here?
Yeah, so I think our approach is I think is quite unique in the sense that we want to treat it as almost like a Squarespace for Web3. And what I mean by that is, let me go full screen on this video. Uh, is we want to treat this as a white labeled metaverse creation tool, a website creation tool, where we're creating
Okay.
essentially 3D websites rather
Uh-huh.
than just like a 3D environment like spatial. This is a,
Mhm.
like look at this admin panel. It's essentially where you can upload your logos, your graphics, and hit publish, and it generates
Mhm.
a Jeremy Lin Metaverse website, a URL, and then you can add more like stuff like live streams. What you're seeing here is you can do live AMAs. Let me pause it right there just to show
Mhm.
you what's going on here. So,
Mhm.
Jeremy Lin URL generated from the admin panel or dashboard.
Mhm.
Essentially, you can add like a live stream here for live performances or
Mhm.
webinars, which we use the same exact format here yesterday for our very own webinar. You have global chat, text chat, and our built-in video chat. So it's almost like a Twitch page here or a
Okay.
YouTube live. And then you're one tab away from jumping into our metaverse experience, the 3D experience of the Jeremy Lin basketball court, all handled through one URL that you can share to anybody in the world. So super easy of access, high quality Unreal 5, visuals, and then a lot of traditional features that you would find from like a virtual event. So these are all technology that we want to try to make it streamlined and turnkey for anybody to use. So these configuration tools of the environment that you see behind me, that's what you're seeing
Right.
here.
And webinars, is particularly education webinars. Arizona State University is one of your clients. Is that it?
Yes,
Because I saw.
that is one of our clients that want to really explore how to use this platform together. And one of the use cases, obviously, events. We've proven that many times. We've been doing it, battle tested for actually 2-3 years. We were one of the first to market during the pandemic that was hosting virtual events. So for them, their first use case was that Space Force launch event. However, the next step is volumetric scanning, which we already just recently did with the DJ Paul control. Once you scan them in, now you can do anything, whatever you want within our environments. So their next use case is like, hey, can we scan our professors in their lectures? And once we have that, can we have their presentations on one of your LED walls? And that way,
Mhm.
this is a persistent website that all of our students can visit anytime with their friends and gamify it, so they're learning and they're quizzing, they're playing escape rooms together, but also like watching this volumetric 3D scan of their professors. So it's really like for the next generation of education.
Definitely, and you guys have a lot of milestones here. So recently, Red Hill has collaborated with Pixel Canvas for the expansion in the metaverse. What are some of the other major milestones we can see in the future with this partnership?
Yeah, so Red Hill is a Singapore company that was actually introduced through our lead investor Unlock. So there's a lot of LPs and just within our network that is looking at us as like, hey, how do we leverage Pixel Canvas's technology? How do we bring it beyond the U.S.? So Red Hill was Singapore, flew out there to their HQ, they met with the CEO, and tried to act as an agency reseller for another part of the globe, essentially. And then we do have other partnerships in the pipeline, channel partners that I can't quite name off. They're until the big PR release comes out, but very exciting, very hot right now. I think with what we've done in the last 6 months was really a lot of biz dev and partnerships that is going to start rolling out very soon in the coming months.
Absolutely. We would love to cover your milestones personally as well. No worries. Uh, there are a lot of concerns with IP rights, sustainability, and authenticity. It has always been a part of concerns in digital fashion, in particular. So, what are some of the things Pixel Canvas is planning to protect their users from such copyright issues, and how will you make it more sustainable and authentic for the future?
Yeah, I think with Web3, I think that's a big problem in the sense of like there's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of uncertainty, whether it's IP or land sales, NFTs, all that. So what we try to offer is security. Obviously, working with these large brands, we go through a ton of security procurement, and at the end of the day, our pixel streaming solution is very secure because at the end of the day, it's a temporary server that's running this game build of your assets. So it's not like it's a database that people can go in and alter, and then that affects everybody because they're just kind of like essentially remote accessing into an AWS server to go into one of our experiences. So it's very secure in that sense. In the IPs of NFTs, we've done a lot of, I guess, a few projects with like an NFT or like the Jeremy Lin was one actually. Being able to log in with your wallets, the crypto wallets, we have MetaMask, Coinbase, all the major players. That's actually a secure login that we have in our platform where once you're logged in and connected with your wallet, you can transact and buy NFTs within our space. So something familiar that is, we'll see. I think last year there was a time when that was a very hot request, but now, with the recent news, FTX and everything, less so that and more about like, hey, can we just do a traditional method of Gmail or email logins with a fiat transaction? And that's what we're focusing on next is, how do we make things a little bit easier and more familiar for the majority of folks that wants to dabble in, learn about this new Web3 and the Metaverse future that's coming.
That solves the adoption part of the problem, I think. I mean, if people use the things that they trust, they would eventually slowly get into Web3 technologies. Yeah. I mean, there is this thing in blockchain, and again, we talk about it with most of our guests, the blockchain trilemma: scalability, interoperability, and security. And with that, add adoption. I think fourth pillar of that would be adoption. So how do you think we could achieve a perfect equilibrium through metaverse technologies, through immersive experiences?
Can you rephrase that question? Just want to make sure I answer this.
So let's just say, I mean, people are afraid of it. So we got so many like decentralized finance. It's a bit complicated for a lot of people still, right? Scalability is an issue with the layer 2 solutions being an issue with most of layer 1 blockchains.
Yeah.
How do you think Metaverse comes in on all of this? I mean, absolutely, people are in for the immersive experience, but do you think it solves some other Web3 related problems like scalability, interoperability?
Got it. Okay, so this question for me, the technology and the platform side of me, when I hear interoperability, it's hard because you have game engines, you have game engine differences, you have Unreal Engine, Unity. How do you move an asset in real time to another game build? I know the process of creating one of our worlds. It's not just plug and play and just like, oh, this is going to work in spatial. It's got different limitations. Our polygon counts are working in a different kind of processing. So there's all kinds of technology hoops that you'll have to go through. However, Ready Player Me is doing a fantastic job on taking avatars to metaverses because they have their own infrastructure and ecosystem where you create your avatars on their platform, and we are actually using them too. So we can pull from that database and generate a Unreal Engine quality version of your avatar because it's tied to their login and their database. So that's one way that's being solved, and they're doing an amazing job at it. I think people should follow how they're doing it in their infrastructure. When it comes to, I guess, can you say what was the other one? What was the other challenge?
So scalability, interoperability, and security. Metaverse already is taking care of the adoption part, I think, because people are interested in people play games, and this is something closer to, playing a video game. Yeah. But what about scalability of blockchain technology? And
I think scalability, that's also another challenge because I think for some reason, and it's funny, I hear those all the time, especially last year where people are still kind of learning about what's even possible. For some reason, most people are pointing towards the Ready Player One kind of, okay, there's going to be thousands of people on the same server that can see each other in the same room, which if you've played any video games in the last decade, 20 years or so, there's a reason why a lot of the shooting games, the multiplayer games, are limiting to 32, 64, or 128, right? Because it's controlled chaos. One example, I think, Bored Ape Yacht Club's other side metaverse, they did it was pixel streaming, so it's similar technology that we're using, and they shoved 4,000, I think it was 4,000 people into one zone, and it was just like ants. like I don't know if you played MMOs. I played Final Fantasy 14, and sometimes when there's a big monster hunt and there's like 100 people on the same trying to kill the thing, you can't even see. It's just particles everywhere. And that's what that experience felt like, was like, this is exactly a great gaming experience or a metaverse experience because I can't even see my own character within all this. So there's definitely stuff to be solved in scalability in that sense. But the way we treat it is like, yes, we can get concurrency of users, but we'll do it the traditional way of instance servers. So you'll have multiple versions of the home behind me, but you can fit 20 or 50 people at a time, but maybe like 200 instances of it. So that's how you get up to like 4,000 users.
Okay, so and that's how you're solving this issue. You're filling in the gaps by using multiple servers. At
the current state of how gaming technology allows, I don't think we're going to see Ready Player One for. I don't want to like make a prediction and be held for this, but yeah, we're a little bit far off on something that. However, improbable games with other side, they clearly have something there. They can fit 4,000 people in one room. It's just how do we solve a good experience would be the next challenge.
Yeah, the user experience is definitely going to be a challenge in that case. What do you think about Internet of Things? Because yesterday I interviewed David Palmer, the blockchain lead for Vodafone, and they're doing a whole range of things with IoT devices and services, right? And he predicts that Metaverse could play a great role in bringing IoT services to the rest of the world and maybe enhancing it. What are your thoughts on economy of things and Internet of Things with Metaverse experiences?
So the economy of things, I think we have to look at the current ones that is essentially it's a video game but has millions of daily active users like Roblox and Fortnite. I think those would probably be the leading examples of a metaverse that's actually has an economy with skins and people buying things at $2.99, $3.99. And it's not necessarily like an NFT or some sort of blockchain. But when in a popular metaverse, does get those kind of numbers and truly is on, like the dream, which is like a decentralized world that everybody goes to, and there's a whole economy where people are actually owning their businesses, using, let's say, one of our environments and selling their art, and they're essentially making money inside a virtual world. um, yeah, I feel like the major players are going after that vision. Meta, Facebook, obviously being one that looks like they want to be the first to do that, but I think they're they're going in the wrong direction. I think juggling the VR Horizon World and a
Hmm.
software like that actually is a great experience that everybody wants to use. I think that's their challenge. The one major player I truly believe would have done it correctly is Microsoft acquiring Activision. That would have been a
Hmm.
AAA developed metaverse with Microsoft's like economy and how do we make this the next Windows PC for everybody to use, right, to work in. But I don't know when that deal is going to go through, or it has. But whatever they decide to do, it's going to be a Call of Duty quality metaverse.
So remember in the first in the monologue, I mentioned how Meta, Microsoft, and Roblox, all these companies are registering all the major losses, right? So
Mm-hmm.
how do you wish to survive in this chaos?
Oh, we survived it. I think we luckily raised our bridge round last year, right before everything just kind of went down. Technology and metaverse was super hot in the beginning of the year, kind of cooled down. And the good news is because of that happening, and we had the enough funds to keep going. We also made our adjustments and made some cuts to survive it. So we anticipated it and just kept our heads down the last 6 months building. And I think now that we're kind of revealing ourselves again this year with some of the big projects, the like I said, the major biz dev that I've done during the time. And yeah, we're coming out the gate strong this year with a lot of great footage and projects. The Digital Fashion Week obviously is getting a lot of attention right now, and it has to do with us getting those funds in before everything else kind of cooled down. And unfortunately, other folks in the space I've heard has suffered or has unfortunately died out. Um, but yeah, it definitely. I don't know. I wasn't in the 2000s when the .com boom. I hear about it. I was not a business owner or adult back then, but what I heard was there was this craze, and then the crash, the bubble burst, and there's a lot of people that went off, and the folks that survived it, that came out the other end, became the leaders of that, essentially Web 1.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, it's definitely Web3 is definitely, I think, ahead of the web bubble that we saw back in. Even I wasn't there back in 2000. I guess I was like 3 years old, so I can't cover it. I've also read about it,
Yep.
but I do want to. You're doing phenomenal work in terms of enterprise metaverses. You have, again, you said you have affordable pricing plans for small businesses. You have stellar clientele already, a lot of mergers and all of that. So, what do you have for the average Joe? If somebody wants to just experience your services for free, could they do that?
Yep. Funny thing is literally why I like to have this environment out of all the environments that we have at my background. Is this is actually one of our closed beta spaces that we allow some folks that is in the industry that want to try to use it for either showcasing their artwork, use it as a community building website platform for them to host a live AMA. So if you have like an NFT project, that was one great use case that we heard a lot of people was like, oh yeah, I would love to display my collection on the walls and invite my Discord community members to come in and maybe do a live AMA using our video chat that I showed you for the
Mhm.
ASU. And yeah, like run around with your avatars and look at my art collection and transact. If you're connected with your wallet, oh, I like that, I'll buy that off of OpenSea. So those are all possible things that I don't know. We still have the closed beta, eventually open beta. I think that's where we want to get to, is just open it up to everybody to be able to try out at least this one space, and kind of teases you into like the digital fashion week or the other spaces, the large spaces for like more businesses or enterprises to use.
Do you have a timestamp for the open beta? Anytime soon?
I would say probably summer. I think right now we're still going through final polishes on the key features, but it's almost there. I think we feel really good about where we're at as far as all the key features are there. We just want to polish this up before we open this up publicly.
No worries. The Sizzle trailer that you just showed a couple of minutes ago, when is it gonna hit the floors? When can we use it?
Yeah, that's funny thing is that's available. So if you go to the Sizzle Trailers YouTube link in the description, all the trailers that you see in the video. So there's Digital Fashion Week still open. That's one of our best examples of a a modern cyberpunk looking space showcasing fashion. There's the ASU demo that's also available. Music entertainment's a work in progress with the DJ Paul Control, but that's one I think is there too. So those are all there on the YouTube link. So go check it out, share it. That's kind of what we want to get the word out. So usually we feel comfortable with our metaverse experience. Like I think that's why we just want to get it in the hands of people and try it, because I think the reputation of metaverses is not the greatest as far as some of the other ones that it's a walking simulator. I think that's the key point. The key differentiator, one of our value props, is because of our gaming background, we want to make our metaverse, the minute-to-minute gameplay, engaging and fun. And there's mini games or collectibles, obviously beautiful visuals. It's not just a walking simulator where you're walking over here, looking at an NFT on the wall or a TV screen, and that's it, right? We want to make sure it's like something you want to come back. It's like, this is a good experience. I want to invite my friends. I want to tell more people about it.
So I want to make it a thumbnail. Do you think Metaverse is greater than traditional gaming?
Not right now. Not right now. Here's the thing, though. I truly believe, and this is one of our partners that we were just chatting about, what we plan to see in sales and some of the clients and the brands, is at the end of the day, he said it best. It was like, all brands in the next couple years is going to need a triple A game website.
Right.
That's it. As simple as that. It's not. Let's not talk about land sales or crypto or NFTs. It's essentially like, why are we still? We're at the point where technology, the Web 2 flat experience, web pages where I spend about 5-10 seconds on a website because we're so used to that. It's like, here, I'll give you 5 seconds of my time. Can you entertain me? Versus, let's say if I went to Nike.com/metaverse, this is a Street Fighter 6 or Resident Evil 8 kind of experience, a AAA quality metaverse. I'll stick around with that, especially kids growing up to Roblox right now. They're going to be like, by then they're going to be adults with money to spend. So if you make your brand engagement and your website a true like AAA quality game, that's where it's at.
Well, the world has definitely come a long way since Pac-Man, that's for sure. So do you want to say any parting words before you go?
Yeah, I think thanks for inviting me. Obviously, this is a great opportunity to share my story in Pixel Canvas, and our objective right now is to get our platform out there, get as many eyeballs and people get their hands on it, because we do feel like we have a very mature product that's been battle tested with some pretty large brands like Verizon, Warner Media, Lowe's, LG. So we've been out there and luckily raised the funds to survive the tough couple of previous months, and even improved our platform further to make it accessible. I think that's the other part. Is the next step is okay, we've done it for a lot of big brands. It's proven there's a need for it. We know that from our research and the amount of work that we've done in the revenue. Now it's time to really open this up to individuals, small businesses, and medium-sized businesses to be able to use our platform.
And you know what? That thing in itself will not only make you survive this chaos, I think you will thrive, right? I think this has been a great interview for me. I hope everyone out there, you take something out of it. If you want to check them out, I'll leave the link in the description down below. Again, the website is called pixelcanvas.io, correct?
.com. I know there's
.com.
another pixel.
There's another one, yeah.
Yeah, .com.
Pixelcanvas.io, no. So that's .com. Okay, don't go. If you go to pixelcanvas.io, I wish to interview them some days, but I have it open now. It's
not the pixelated one. We're purple. We're Unreal Engine quality.
I'll share a screenshot of your website up here as well. So the correct one is down below. Check them both out. Who cares? Check them both out. All right. So Joyee, it's been an honor to have you here. Let's stay in touch, and we're gonna do something with the articles.
Awesome. All right.